We are back with another Age of Mythology Retold casted game, and today we're going to be watching Illuminati from his point of view. So he is a top 100 player. He's been in tournaments. He also streams his perspective quite a lot. He's used to be quite an active streamer. Now I guess he's more busy doing other things, but he still does stream Age of Mythology from time to time. And I was just looking at his recent games, and he's been on a tear with Ra, just playing Ra all day. So we're going to see what he can do. Now, this is on the newest patch. So there was a patch on the 20th of November. So this is a patch which has buffed quite a few things, nerfed some things as per usual with the balance changes. But one of the big changes for Ra is that they've reverted his monument empowerment. So for anyone unaware, within this circle, if a pharaoh is empowering a monument as Ra, it's as if a priest is empowering everything else. So it's as if a priest is on this mining camp, as if a priest is on the lumber camp, and also the town center. But what's also happening now is, what that was taken away before, is monuments within this radius are also going to be as if a priest is empowering it. Basically, before, players were finding that Ra could get out too many Wadgets too quick, or too many Sphinx, and that got taken away. So we're going to see what Illuminati does now. I imagine he's going to go into some kind of heavy myth unit play, just testing it out to see how good it is. And he's sending his priest over here, doing the classic obelisk scouting. The map's Ghost Lake, probably not the best map for Ra. Basically, any map that is very difficult to scout. So your Ghost Lakes, your Key, so that's K-I-I, one of the newer maps where you just need loads and loads of goats. It's very, very difficult to actually scout with these guys, just because the priest has such limited line of sight. His obelisk takes quite a while to come up. And actually, I think Illuminati's doing a pretty good job, because normally you'll find a decent amount of goats in the middle. The issue is that he was empowering to start with, and Odin is a pretty decent scouter early on, so he would have been able to just grab most of these goats. But it's not a big deal. But what he has found is he's found a forward gold mine. So it's a 1 gold mine variant. So it isn't as if there's 2 gold mines, one back here. So it means that Illuminati can put on some early pressure. So if he wants to get some Wadgets, sit them here, do some spitting over the gold mine to take out the dwarfs or put some pressure onto it, even getting some slingers in there with them, or go the other way, get some spearmen in, some sphinx, and start to really pressure this gold mine out, which is what I think we're probably going to see is one of those variants. We'll see which one Illuminati decides to go for. Back in Retold's history, it used to be good to go for a certain one. So there was time where Wadgets were really strong, so everyone went Wadgets. Then when they got nerfed, Sphinxes were a little bit better. And now I think they're both in a decent spot where you can just go for whichever one suits your preference. Sphinx are a little bit more durable. They're a lot faster, so they're a lot easier to kind of work around. Whereas Wadgets, you really have to be on top of your micro and your army positioning. Kind of your micro to get body blockers in front of the Wadgets to keep them away from enemy heroes. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. I think Sphinx are just a lot easier to work with. But the temple is going to be coming up, and we see this monument is being empowered. I believe normally it's 0.08, so you're getting basically half a monument to the villagers again back for this one. And is Illuminati going to go late advance time with a 3rd monument? That was what Ra's were doing back when this was kind of very, very popular. And then I think there was one player called Nora. He doesn't play anymore, but he did 4 monuments before going up. At least he was showcasing that build off. Whether he did it or not every game is a different question. But Illuminati's also doing something a little bit strange for me, is he is putting the houses around the towers, which makes sense, definitely around this one. But normally what we see Ra players do is keeping within this radius, because this one isn't being empowered, whereas this one right on the end is. So it takes the houses quite a while to go up, whereas a Ra bonus is that you basically have a priest empowering it if it's in the circle. And we do see a pretty late advance time. Is there a 3rd monument going up? Looks like we don't see one right now, but it is a quite late advance time with the 2 monuments, getting a wall on the backside, which is going to be nice. He is against Odin, do have to watch out for that. He's also got a pretty nice gold mine here, where it's quite easy to defend. You could even get some walls up here or some houses up here, very, very nice. Get the watchtower upgrade if you're really worried, and then that will be shooting over the side, and the temple's in a pretty nice spot where the watchtower does defend it if there's any raiders and watchtowers on. The issue is there could be a potential forest fire, and no, there isn't going to be a potential forest fire because the Odin actually went through Heimdall. So no Valkyrie coming in your base, and no raiders. So this is the first day of the new patch. So Heimdall did get buffed. So the Einherjes got buffed. Also Rigstula is now cheaper. So I assume this player here, I'm not sure who he is, but he's a like top 100 player himself. I think it's about 1800 and something. So probably just trying out those new things. Illuminati not wasting any time, getting that watchtower upgrade. Also getting Skin of the Rhino, which makes your villagers have lots more armor. So it's very, very difficult to actually get some damage onto those. Looks like the priest is going to be able to get back. And should be able to get inside there. Yeah, does manage to get that one. The issue is with getting the watchtower upgrade against Heimdall is he can take out 2 for free if he manages to do this undermine properly, which he has. So not ideal, but then I guess it's fine. It much prefer to have those front 2 go away than the back 2, because this one here is defending the gold mine. This one is defending anything coming from this side. So I think from Illuminati's perspective, I wouldn't even be so mad about that one. And now the third monument is going up, and we see how it works out again. So he's getting... It's pretty much like having 4 monuments when you're empowering the third one. You also, great move is to move over to the biggest monument for your pharaoh to be on, because the pharaoh does boost it quicker than the empowerment circle does. So there are some Sphinx. Sphinx upgrade coming in also means that you can keep getting Sphinx out and get Sacred Cats. Sacred Cats is a pretty nice upgrade where if you're staying on your berry bushes or on your herdables, it just gives you a nice little boost. It does give you a boost for farms too, but it basically makes that farm delay just even nicer, and it's a great upgrade to get. When you're going for heavy Sphinx, it's not ideal, but with this strategy, it means that you can afford it pretty nicely. It's only 100 gold, I think. 90 gold normally when I play Isis, so it must be 100 gold for the Ra. And Cryo Sphinx in, even getting the wood upgrade too, to get 10% on that one. So all the favor being spent, and a second town center trying to go up from the Odin, which Illuminati's got a pretty nice timing here to find that one. So the Sphinx are just gonna, or the one Sphinx is just gonna run past. It's like Mr. Oliver Snubnose does want to come into this Cryo Sphinx. The Cryo Sphinx should be able to run away. It does have more speed than these hearses, but if the Odin can slow it down with something that's not ranged, he will be able to snare it up. Could even be worth hitting them with some of these villagers, but decides against it. I guess doesn't want to take that sand damage because it doesn't have the Valkyrie to heal it back up, so not ideal. But Illuminati knows what he's up against, and I mean, he can answer back with whatever he wants. Unfortunately, this Cryo Sphinx is getting a little bit angsty. He can answer back with whatever he wants. He can grab his own town center if he really wants to. But what this also means is the Odin wants to sit back. We haven't even seen raiders yet, so he wants to sit back, which means Illuminati can come out onto his forward caribou. And instead of spending that gold on a town center, he can just grab more Sphinx and get some Axemen to deal with the hearses here, and that is exactly what he's going for. Settlement still has 12 seconds up. I love this use of the special. Use the special with Shift Q and then manually right-click to move around the berserks rather than just letting them go for one on its own to get a little bit more damage. It's one of those little min-max things to do with the Sphinx. He's doing it again. Nice play. And town center is up. Unfortunately, does lose an Axeman for that. Nothing really going down. A little bit of pressure on the food gatherers, but nothing crazy. There is a very nice army here. You do have to watch out for this, though. The Axemen, they have barely any pierce armor. They used to have even less. I'm pretty sure they used to have 5. So standing next to that town center with not much HP, not much pierce armor, means it will go down so quick. But now Hierarcho Sphinx is in. One slight change I would like to see from Illuminati is a lot of these Egyptian players, if they stay classical age, they get out a decent amount of priests. So if we're looking at players, I think I casted one recently of B, 3DB. He's in the Champions League. And what he does is he gets 3 or 4 priests out. He presses Alt Q, or right clicks this one here, which changes it to auto heal. And then you just keep the priests with your army. Or even if you were to attack this side, say you were to attack here, you would just leave your priests back here to kind of heal up. They don't really deal that much damage to normal units unless you're dealing with myth units, so they are going to be good against those Einherjes. But everything else, you just really want them to heal up. And also spam obelisks can be a nice play. So the berserks are going to go on a bit of a raid. And Illuminati did decide to get that delayed TC. Felt like he got enough pressure on to get that one a little bit later. And the Berserks are in. Berserks have had a decent buff. They've got 10 extra HP, if that's correct from memory. And the other thing that was buffed for them was Forseti, which Odin doesn't get. But Odin does get nice Berserks anyway. They are faster with one of the upgrades. Nice bit of micro attempt there by the Axeman. Unfortunately, the waypoint was just set a little bit too far back. If it was here, maybe he could have caught a couple of Berserks. But decided to delete those. I assume that was to try and get a ghost building off to make sure that it would force them out this way. Maybe he didn't even notice there was a little gap in the wood line there. But the Odin does manage to get out. And Illuminati's army is looking scary. Even just taking maybe 2 of these Sphinx off to run around this side to maybe take down a wall if it's here, or even just put some pressure on. Even pressuring up here if the player's going for some berry bushes or pumpkins as they are there is always a nice option. You can also keep your army together and just have a nice ball of units. But fast raiders like the Sphinx, like the Valkyries, just send 1 or 2 over to get some damage done elsewhere. Looks like this gold mine's being grabbed, so I assume the starting gold mine has finished, or it's going to be very close to finishing. Sphinx getting some good specials off and then running away. There isn't that many hearsers, so if Illuminati can micro his Axeman onto those hearsers, the Sphinx are going to have a very nice time. It's like the throwing Axemen are going after the Sphinx, which is exactly what our Egyptian player wants here. There's an Einari on this backside. Einari, no upgrade, on his lonesome. It's going to go down so quick. There is a nice double wall set up. Double wall. Wow, we don't see double wall very often. But the Axemen against double wall, they just don't have much damage, so it's going to take them ages to get down. Sphinx are decent. You could bring a Sphinx over very nicely. And now the Odin, he's a little bit caught out here. It's going to be quite difficult to get back. I think Illuminati's doing the right call. You could run around. I think running around with a couple of units just to scare them back is a good option. But you want the retreat path to be definitely caught off there so you can get the Sphinx on them. Use your special. Use your manual special again. And a frost coming in. Oh, the Sphinx is going to get caught. No. Illuminati too quick. So feels like he should be able to get some damage on. There are some hearsers here. Goes in for the Eclipse, which makes them a little bit faster, does more damage, even more special abilities as well. Trying to get some good damage on these dwarfs. The dwarfs are tanky. How are they not taking more damage than they actually are? I thought that would definitely do more. The Sphinx have been nerfed so many times over the last year or so. Now they're getting some damage done. The hearsers running around. They are slow hearsers with no upgrades thanks to the Heimdall. Didn't go the Freya to get the slightly stronger versions. And the Sphinx running amok. Now the Frost Giant's in. Frost Giants against Myth units, very good. And I think that was a decent Eclipse. Did get a couple of villager kills there. The hearsers probably did a little bit too much work there, but it was a very nice Frost from the Odin's perspective. But now there's so many low HP dwarfs with no way to heal them up. Look at this, 1 HP, 7 HP. If he just gets even the slingers, terrible raiders because they do about 2 damage. But 2 damage on a 1 HP unit is absolutely fine. And this attack has been so nice. This is why I say about the priests. You just get in the priests, all these Sphinx go up to full HP, and that's probably something that Illuminati's been not playing the last couple of months. I think he's just been back for a couple of weeks. Whereas this is a relatively new tech that some of the Egyptian players have started bringing in. Definitely worth it. We do see just the one back here, kind of empowering for vision. I think the Sphinx will be going back to him to heal up. And on the back of this, because I was going to say, what do you really want to do with this? You can keep pushing, but it's quite difficult to push with the classical units unless you get more Sphinx in to take out buildings. But Sekhmet is on the way for Illuminati, which is kind of interesting. You don't normally see Bast into Sekhmet. If you're playing as Ra or Set, normally if you want to go Sekhmet, you go Tar beforehand, because then you get your slinger upgrades to get your not ballistics, what is it called? Electron bullets, which is the divine damage slingers, and then into the slinger upgrade, Slings of the Sun, which make them good against the berserks. Whereas now they'll be good against berserks, but they won't be getting that divine damage, so it just doesn't really cut it as much. Still a strong upgrade, but deciding to go into that one instead. I guess one thing that you do get is the Scarab. Scarab can come and push. You obviously get your nice Citadel just to boost up the eco even more. There it comes. And the Siege, upgrade if you want to get some ranged siege. Potentially that could be the option. I think I do just like Sobek here though, because Sobek could have the nice locust swarm to come in and kind of finish off some of the villagers that were quite low, or even just do some damage to the army while you're going in for a big attack. But we'll see what he decides to go for. Actually, he's going for... okay. Maybe this is the play. Crimson Linen gets you lifesteal for your myth units. So it's lifesteal for Scarabs, but it's also lifesteal for Sphinx. It's only 25% lifesteal for Sphinx compared to the 75 of the... I guess that would make it 100 of the Scarab. Is that how it works? So it's 25 for myth units and then 75 for Scarabs. So does that mean it's 100 for a Scarab? Potentially. We're going to be having a look at these Sphinx, see how much they can heal up. But in theory, that does make sense. That was the one upgrade from Sekhmet that I was forgetting which one it was. And Illuminati showed me why he's gone that one. He's also trying to get his heavy slingers in. He's been moving his eco around a lot, trying to get extra town centers and the like. So it doesn't quite have the wood in, but we'll eventually get that one. Not a big deal. It's also wants that wood in with the extra wood upgrade. It's very rare for... Actually, that's Mythic Age. He's just pre-queuing Mythic Age text right there. I was going to say, it's pretty rare for the Egyptians to do. Normally, they prioritize the gold ones, but... This is something I have noticed from Illuminati streams. He doesn't just completely go in. He's very calculated with when he wants to attack. And we are seeing that he is waiting for his text to come in. He does really want that Slinger one. He could even get some armory upgrades if he wants to. Does have the full copper line. So potentially going in for the extra hack armor is always a good shout versus Norse. And again, just bring your boy over. No reason not to. I think they are now coming in. So great play from his perspective. Only deciding to stay on the 3 monuments. He does have enough resources to get the 4th monument. Could also be a Mythic Age kind of play. So the Berserks are coming out for a little bit of scouting action. But the Sphinx are gonna melt them, really. Yeah, just a couple of Sphinx needed. Don't need to give away everything else. And something we very rarely see this. Migdal Stronghold, something players used to do back in the old game even was wall in front of Migdals or put things up. Now, normally we just see Migdals just left bare. Maybe a wall defending a certain position here in front of it. But triple barracks around that. Very nice. Means that it's going to be quite difficult for the Odin to really get to this without getting some portable rams out to knock these through, or even getting a ballista, which involves getting to the next age. And it does look like Horus is pre-queued, but it's a bit of a ways away, unless he wants to start buying some food. It's also getting his 4th TC, so just off of that one attack earlier, just taking the map completely. Yeah, these Sphinx specials really don't do as much as they used to, but still strong. Trying to get some walls up, stone wall tech, and this is when the Odin can try and push back. The issue is he doesn't have any siege weapons. He doesn't have any frost giants or anything like that. Trying to get a Migdal Stronghold up here. Here are the frost giants. They are taking that wall down, and we'll be trying to get that Migdal Stronghold very quickly. I mean, he is kind of just distracting here, because what Illuminati really wants to do is go after the gold mine. So he's seen that the majority of the red army is down here trying to stop Illuminati's sieging off that or defending that position. So now he's going to be on this gold mine. Sphinx trying to get through. Looks like the villagers have all run away. Oh no, they are probably going to get caught out by the axemen, the low damage axemen. They are heavy, so they will eventually kind of hit them down with their pool noodles. That's how much damage they do to non-infantry units. And a pretty commanding position that he is in. Villager-wise, not too far ahead, which is surprising. He did go up to a 3rd TC. The 2nd TC was later, but that's just that Rig Stula tech really coming in for the Odin. You can see how strong that is. So he's not too far behind on the eco. The siege towers are going to slowly run through, and now the villagers have to come this side. Yeah, 150 gold. Heimdall really coming in clutch here for the defensive situation for our Odin player. Now, what can Illuminati do here? He has pre-queued as Horus, so potentially wants to go for that one, but then he has every upgrade under the sun coming through. So Force of the West Wind normally means that you're going to want to sit in the heroic cage because it gives you access to the catapults. He could just be getting it for the extra damage on his normal siege weapons. That is one option to go for if you're so inclined that way. And we just see here the farm's getting absolutely spammed up. So I think it is going to be a Mythic Age situation here. What's the food situation? Yep, he's got his upgrades, pre-queuing the one which is Mythic Age only, so it should be able to get up to the next stage by the time this reign is finished at least. And that one is going to be coming through. It's going to be Horus. Does have a lot of axemen, and there are some nice Horus upgrades to get extra stats on your barracks units, and then just Migdal strongholds, barracks going everywhere. This is the last gold mine that the Odin has available to him. He's only got 3k gold left in it, so it's going to be very, very difficult for him to push out after that, especially with the population that Illuminati's managed to get. Just needs to make sure that this one is definitely walled off, that he's defended this position as well as he can, because the Odin's going to go one of two ways. He's going to try and go this way to try and get these gold mines, or he's going to come back to this one. Probably going to come over here, would make more sense. He's got all his hill forts down here, ways to siege, and also there's 2 gold mines this side. And I think Illuminati is going to be slightly too late to try and stop that Balder. That was, if he was going through the main TC, that could have been very, very close. I think that's what he realized. He was like, maybe he is going through Balder. We're gonna try and put a stop to it. Does see the majority of the army. Does have to deal with Frost Giants of Thrym now, which are a great counter to those Sphinx. Just stops them from attacking. Unfortunately, the Scarab's getting a little bit lost. See what his lifesteal is doing. Just looks like the Sphinx lifesteal just didn't do too much. Maybe the 25% just isn't enough. Big splash damage from the Sphinx coming in. Horus is about 30 seconds away, and I think he was looking for a decent timing with that tornado, because the tornado about now would have been perfect to clean up everything now that the Odin's fully committed, but maybe went about 20 seconds too early, let's say. But easier said than done. It's very, very difficult to time those things. And has managed to pull all these red units out, and they're just going to go down to the Migdal stronghold. Undermine number 2. Not a god power you see we used very often. You can see why it's not going to be able to take this one out. It's normally good for those early towers because it one-shots the towers, or any buildings that are being constructed. It does a lot of damage to those too. But now, Tornado in the back pocket. We've got the Axe of Vengeance, which is going to make your Axeman good against buildings and just better in general. We've got Spear of Horus, which is the Spearman upgrade. Then Greatest of the 50s, the other one, which is the infantry, hit points, and speed. And the Axemen are just such a good counter to so many of the Norse units. There was a last-ditch effort. Oh, looks like we have a tornado coming in. Surprised to not see that tornado saved a little bit. We did hear the Ragnarok button, but basically every unit that's not a Ragnarok hero has been taken down, or at least such low HP now. The Sphinx are going to be useless now. You do have to watch out for that one, but you just look at the Egyptian queue, and it's just heavy axemen on heavy axemen. Champion axemen now through, and they can't even get onto the units because they're just melting so quick. Ragnarok heroes are super strong unless they have just a pure counter like these axemen. So the heroes of Ragnarok are trying to go for the main base, but there's enough barracks here to put a stop to it. It's a nice attempt from these portable rams. This is definitely what you want to do if you go for the Ragnarok. You need some portable rams with you, or some way to siege down, because you see it just goes down so quick. But Illuminati, rightly so, just bailing here. You don't want to lose villagers. That's the main thing against this. Fair enough, if you lose your buildings, you lose your TCs, fine. But just don't lose your villagers and you should be fine. And even this fortified town center going down to just this one lone catapult. Units coming over here to with a Citadel Center. Citadel Center deals a ridiculous amount of damage. You do have to watch out for that one. Portable ram being targeted nicely by the villagers. Now, I don't think these Ragnarok heroes should be able to take this down, but it's whether or not they can take down this many villagers. And that is when the Odin calls it and says, that's enough. Axeman too strong. Well played from Illuminati. Did do the Sphinx strat. I think you can clearly see that the Sphinx strat is still good, but it's been nerfed from what it was previously, even if it's been buffed up again by the usage of all these monuments. But still could get some good raids off. So GG, I'll see you in the next one.